Okay, hey there, everybody. Looks like this is working. Looks like that's working. All right, so yeah, we're gonna be playing some Space Haven. This game is a game that I picked up quite a while ago in early access, and I played a little bit during that time. That was like 2 years ago. It finally released. I don't actually know to what extent it's actually done. A lot of times, like they'll just sort of eventually say, "Okay, we just gotta say that it's actually out now." It's been basically out in practice for a long time. Um, So we're just going to go ahead and start up a new game here and see what it's like. I'm going to probably skip the tutorial because I know most of the basic mechanics of the game. Um, but maybe it's a mistake to do that because I have played the tutorial before, but that was quite a while ago. Um, but I do think that it's probably fine for us to just play normal here. The basic platform gives us like enough basic stuff here that's kind of fine. The abandoned mining station is another start that we could do that's a little bit more about um, I'm not actually fully sure that there's a huge difference, but you kind of start off with more resources, I feel like. And then there's a small hope, which is like the harder one, where it's like we get, I believe, less resources in a little like ship there. But I'm probably just gonna go with a basic platform. Um, but yeah, let's probably go with that. I do like the mining station, I think, but um, I do like this element here. Like what I said was probably true. Like this is easier. You just start with more resources. I do like the idea of just being able to make a more customized, more fleshed out spaceship. When you start off with like constrained resources in a game like this, it can be harder, but it can also just force you to play in a very like linear way where it's just like take these exact things and you have to take these exact things, otherwise you just fail. And there's no room for like sort of personalized or customized sort of content. But we'll start off with basic platform for the time being. And then we'll just go with medium right now. I'm just going to try and learn the mechanics. We'll probably go back and redo all these scenario settings later, probably to a harder difficulty as well, but we're just here to sort of figure the basics out. I like how you can sort of like adjust it from here because this, I don't know why they give you the second thing with this though. Um, this sort of shows you like what your starting gear is. If we hit it to brutal, we only start off with like two pistols. We start off with way less resources in general. Um, start off with only three crew instead of four. I wonder if you start off with more in any of the other difficulties. It looks like you always start off with four, except on the hardest difficulty where you start off with three. Um, yeah, the resource disparity between these is actually pretty bad. So the problem with playing on like brutal difficulty would be that like I'm not sure, but you would have to basically build the exact same like hyper optimized design for every single time that you wanted to play this. It would be you'd have no sort of room to like sort of express yourself until you got further into the game. All it would really do is like slow your progress to the point where like I don't know if it would actually be more interesting. Whereas by contrast, you put it on Builder, all that you really are getting is the ability to like customize your ship a little bit more. Same thing as like with the previous. I might this might be actually a game where I don't prefer the harder difficulty because the harder difficulty just makes it so that you're slowed down and can't do anything functional for a little while. Makes it a lot slower and a lot less interesting. All right, so over here we have team skills and it gives us like the mandatory amounts that we're capable of that we need for the scenario to actually function. Um, this would give us a summary of, I think, whatever the highest amount like any individual has. So if we try to find somebody with mining, we should find somebody that's got a five in mining. Yeah, over here we've got a five. And we've got the potential for growth that we can see over here, and we can see that like everyone's got their sort of mix of like potentials that they're good at and things that they're naturally already good at. We do theoretically have enough to be good at everything that we need to be here. We're bad at research, so what we may want to do is find somebody who's not doing anything like too important, or if we've got like overlap between some of these people, we could take them and make them into somebody who's like better at research, for example, um, and that might be useful for us. I feel like our combat statistics, which are sort of down here, are kind of okay, and who is currently our best researcher anyway? That would be you. They're the person who's got the most potential in gunnery, but like I don't see a major deficiency in like potential for gunnery anyway. So we could probably get rid of our security guard here. What we can do is we can just, I think, reroll everything here. Could also reroll the look, but we can also just reroll the stats, keep them looking the same, doesn't really matter. So that would bring our research up to 3. I wouldn't mind getting like our construction a little bit higher as well, because construction 2 is really, really low. Let's find out who's doing that. I think it's Emmeline. So are you good at anything in particular? I don't think that... You're not really good at anything at all, really. Kind of an all-arounder with mostly a focus on like combat, and they're lazy as a boot there. So we're just going to roll this until we get something that's sort of decent at construction. That's fine. I wouldn't mind doing this so that we get somebody who's like okay at construction and navigation would be kind of nice here. You can also just sort of play this as is without focusing like much on this kind of stuff. Okay, so that nets me the 3 in both of those. We'll be a little bit behind in shielding, we'll be a little bit behind in piloting, but I think that that's fine. Industry facilities need to be on high-capacity power grids to operate, build a large or small power node close to them to ensure their power needs. Yep, we've... Okay, so with the standard, what we're trying to do is just turn this from being like what we've got here and turn it into a spaceship, if I recall correctly. Follow the upcoming blue objective notification to be guided through all the basic steps of assembling a working ship. Your crew will follow the schedule, and the icon above their heads will tell you whether they're currently working, sleeping, or taking free time. If you find yourself struggling with resources at first, don't be afraid to start a new game and modify your starting resources via the game customization menu. Difficulty selection menu to fit your playstyle. Sandbox mode is also available. Okay, so we should have a bunch of like storage stuff here. This one's completely full. Looks like we don't have any air yet, which is interesting because these guys are all wearing their spacesuits. Maybe they're going to take them off, but it could actually just also be that they can't because they don't have any room for that. Okay, so this is probably going to just require me to run things a little bit. Nowhere to relax. Can I create more build tools? Yeah, so this is our little HSS Callisto. We've got nowhere to relax. That's fine. It's kind of weird that that's like our first priority. I believe that we just can go down into here and we can find furniture. And we can just get like a single couch down here. You can even just do this. Put it kind of near the light source that we've already got. And these can be moved later on, so it's not a humongous deal if they're in a bad spot. But try to put them down because it'll save like help optimize time later. Build a tools facility. Okay, so we're just going to go and look for our facilities here. Alright, so one of the things that I noticed is like they're kind of inconsistent about naming things, and this kind of carried over from what seems to be previous. Okay, so tools facility is probably under resource. Yep, tools facility over here. I'm going to put this sort of like away from our relaxation area. We're going to create a dedicated work area. Oh yeah, everyone took their suits off. As far as like colony sim type games go, this is one of the ones that does have that sort of problem that sometimes irritates me, where it's just like everybody is kind of well, everything sort of like just flies off into the void of space. You've got the situation where it's like you want to be able to build stuff, but for some reason all of your like stuff just disappears basically. in a way that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Like I prefer oxygen not included, where it's like got the conservation of mass and conservation of energy to a much larger extent. These ones that just has that silly, you know, all your resources just keep depleting and they just disappear somehow. Energy should, of course, like leave as a sort of entropy, but create optimal gas conditions. Okay. Life support. Gas scrubber. We'll put this sort of near these systems down here, I feel like. This is also kind of one of the things that's sort of interesting in these kinds of games is the sense that like you kind of always have to start off with like really basic crap where you're just doing the exact same sort of things at the start of every one of these games. I've never been the biggest fan of that in a certain sense there, where it actually does make sense in some of these types of games to have like options where you just start off with a spaceship. But since this is a well, this is not my first time really playing this. You can get that sort of situation where you just are like, it's fine, we'll just you know, start this all over again. But if it takes like hours and hours and hours just get the like basics that you're going to 100% have to get every single time, you can just kind of start people with them. I don't think that that actually is too crazy a thought. Um, Although I suspect there are people who think that's like, no, you have to be able to like make the oxygen thing. It's like, what if I wanted to decide to do a playthrough where I don't build the oxygen thing so that everyone just dies automatically? It's like, okay, great. I guess that's a choice. Basically, if there's zero choice or thought input in regards to what's going on there, I don't really respect it as a an option. Okay, so we build a thermal regulator. We actually have one already, but generally speaking, I tend to prefer wall thermal regulators. I'm just going to build like 3 of them. These things you actually sort of spread out around the place. I might be building too many of them though, and I might have to unbuild them later, but that's probably okay. The ground-based ones take up a little bit more space, so that's why I don't really like using them as much. However, this mission's probably only telling me to build 1, so I'm probably building too many. Okay, expand the spaceship hull. Expanding spaceship hull is always weird in this game because, like, I never can tell, like, how much I should actually be doing that by there. Yes, I did. I did this like years ago, and it's finally actually released this year. So I wanted to go back and see like if it had changed in any sort of like relevant way here. Um, how many hull blocks do I actually have here? Oh yeah, and I am going to be busy. It turns out, so that's a good thing. So yeah, it's mixed good and bad. So I'm gonna be like really busy for the next month. But the good thing is I've been looking at getting a condo, and I just was not talking about it because like I wasn't sure if I was gonna get it or not. Yeah. So I got that. But that does mean I'm going to be busy, you know, moving, which, you know, is going to take up a bunch of time. Um, so that's going to kind of be a lot, but that's also, you know, a good thing. Um, but like I said, that does mean that I'm going to be busy for a while. What the hell is going on here for yeah, that's the big thing. Yeah. Um yeah, being able to sort of just call it mine is nice. I'm going to be doing a fairly slow, like, lackadaisical move as well. I'm not going to be doing it all at once because I'm only moving like 10 blocks. I'm basically moving across the street. So I'm going to be doing a slow move, and it's going to take me a long ass time instead of like normal. There's going to be days though because of that where I'm going to be perfectly fine to stream, and then there's other ones where it's just like I need to get a bunch of stuff like renovated or installed or whatever. So I won't be around during those moments. Where the hell are the basic blocks? Do I just build wall? I don't think that it's wall. Hmm. Build edit. It's here. Okay. Build hull. Okay. You don't know what you would prefer? The fast one gets it out of your head. Well, the thing is, I'm stuck on a lease until the end of the month, and I couldn't really push back the possession date too much further, so I've got an entire month. So I'm just like, well, I mean, might as well go slow then. Whatever the hell. Yeah. So that's partly just because of the nature of like the type of time scale that I got to work with here. Okay, so I'm gonna go like kind of this, I think. I'm not sure how much space I'm going to need, but we can always actually add more later, so we're kind of not going to worry too much about this. Well, it's not only that I'm locked into a lease, it's that I'm also literally only moving 10 blocks away. So basically, I've just been sort of filling up my car with some stuff, and then I just sort of drive over there, drop down the boxes, empty the boxes, bring the boxes back, and then refill them. And then just next time I happen to be going past there, I just drop off some more boxes. And I'm just going to do that up until the point where I have got all the stuff done, and then I'm just going to get a company to move the furniture. So yeah, that's kind of how that's going to go. Basically, like the laziest possible way to move to a place. Could do bunk beds, but I think we probably get penalized for doing that, so I think we'll just do a bunch of regulars. And this is another moment where it's like we might as well just be very space efficient and just chuck these down here. And we'll move them once we've got like rooms and stuff like that. You respect it? Yeah. If I was moving further, it would make a lot less sense to do it like this, but again, like it's timing and space make it so that it's convenient for me to just like not worry about doing it all at once. Life support? What the hell? I forget. Facility? One toilet. Okay, we're gonna tuck this over here for now. Yeah, it's kind of like weird. I'm living in a place where it's like cheaper for me to have a mortgage than it is to rent because condo prices have like plummeted, but rent has not. So I think that rent's probably going to catch up to that, but like that doesn't help me in the meantime. So I might as well be like, yeah, I'll just take advantage of the market right now and do that. But that's also very stupid. I feel like that should not really be a thing that happens. I feel like. Yeah, so because of the state that we're currently in, people are just going to have to deal with an open air toilet that is just out there. That's fine. Yeah, this is the section of the game where I feel very strongly like they could cut out parts of this. Problem is qualifying for them. Well, I mean, it depends. Like if in the long term, it's always going to be cheaper because like you're doing that. But like I mean, like the individual mortgage payments are like combined with everything else are way less than rent right now. I feel like if the monthly cost is much lower for the mortgage, including literally everything, then something's weird going on. Or at least that's my perception. I don't know, I'm used to rent being lower relative. This is not going to be able to do anything until later. Let's put these here, maybe. On the other hand, I did like blow through like a ton of my like money, so you know that's not great. But since I'll be saving money, it's not that bad. Okay, so we either need a kitchen or an algae dispenser. Huh? Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, no, where I am usually that's not the case. Usually rent's cheaper. Unless you can afford like a massive down payment on whatever it is you're getting, but you know. Um, but yeah, even if I had to like mortgage the entire cost of the entire place or whatever, like 100% of it, which I don't think you're allowed to do anyway, I think that would still be cheaper. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't know. If the place I was looking at, you didn't actually need very much for a down payment. Then again, I don't spend my money, so that's probably something that helped. But I don't spend my money for moments like this. And now I have spent my money, and now I don't have it anymore. So you know, I can't say that anymore. Yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah. I actually probably am gonna assume that the financing stuff is probably a little bit different in Canada than it is in the States, but I don't know how different. I'm just gonna probably assume probably is a little bit different. Well, unfortunately, I'm not. So you know, I don't have this. I'm in Canadian Texas. Yeah, which yeah means I'm not getting any of those sort of things. Meant for the U.S. No, I'm assuming that exists in Canada as well. We actually have some weird tax things for like first time home buyers as well, but like I didn't actually pay any taxes for the purchase of the place. It's not like it's a brand new building. Apparently, you only pay taxes if it's a brand new building. Not in the long term. Like in the long term, I have to pay like property taxes, but you know, I don't have to pay sales tax on it. I guess because like the first person paid the government the sales tax. Whoever like purchased it like very first paid the sales tax, so it wouldn't make. I don't know actually. Well, that's because no one wants to live in the middle of nowhere in Alabama, right? Like you get condemned to the middle of nowhere in Alabama. You know, they should practically be paying like to get someone to move to Alaska, you have to pay them to move there, for example. Like it's not like people want to be there. If they had like New York home prices in no middle of nowhere Alabama, like it would just cause all the locals to have to flee. It's that good old supply and demand, baby. Why is there no wall here? That's slightly disconcerting. Doesn't seem like any oxygen is flowing out of the place, so I guess it's fine. Uh, Pretty sure you're allowed to actually build quite a few light fixtures before that actually becomes like a major power drain. But yeah, Canada is sort of the same way. There's a lot of places in Canada where you can get like a place for pretty much nothing, but like The only thing you could do while you're living there is like throw rocks at like a seal or something like that. So, you know, you'd get bored pretty fast unless you really hate seals, I guess. And I think for even the most vicious of seal haters, they would get bored of that eventually. Okay, so we need a water collector and a water purifier. That should be under facility. Okay, so water collector. Oops. Okay, so we'll see if we can figure out how to do the... There we go. Yep, move there. Yeah, it's the problem with wanting to live in places that have, you know, like jobs and amenities and stuff like that, is that it costs more. Who would have thought that wanting to be in a place that other people want to be drives up the demand for living there? Hull stability achieved. We can now do warp jumps, except we absolutely cannot. Um, I think we'll probably have enough hull stability if we wait here. It's crazy how the evil liberal cities are the places people actually live. Yeah, who would have thought? Places that actually like want to, you know, have something happen. Yeah. In a certain sense, though, I guess you could like get probably relatively little money and then retire to somewhere in the middle of absolutely nowhere if you're an absolutely miserable cretin that hates people. Um, that would probably make sense. Where's our existing power node? I think the generator's over here. Hmm. Being in a city is a huge buff even for a hermit. Yeah, yeah, it is, because you can actually, you know, buy groceries instead of going to your local gas station to get a gas station nacho for your dinner, I guess. I don't know. There are those weird people who like try to live entirely off of weird like Costco brand like dehydrated food or whatever the hell for prepper purposes or whatever. I don't know if they're. I think they're all like kind of miserable, but you know, they could probably exist in some random town in the middle of nowhere because they just drive their gigantic ass SUV like once per year or so, completely fill their entire SUV with entirely too much random stuff. Okay, so we do that. Yeah, they could just go there, like fill their entire SUV so it's completely 100% full of all of the like random prepper crates, and then just take those home with them. Mind you, most of those meals look absolutely disgusting, so that would just be a continued exercise in misery, which I already think they are miserable, so it would be on brand for them. Uh-oh. I was saying insufficient resources for a second there, and I'm just kind of wondering what's going on with that. Alright, so I feel like these guys are about to go to sleep, which means that we should probably just tell them to hurry through whatever is going on right now. Um, but I forget where the speed up button is. There it is. You could tank that? I mean, you could. You could tank a lot of stuff, but do you want to tank that? I sure as hell wouldn't want to. Yeah, there's a lot of miserable things you could do to yourself if you just sort of felt like it. Like, I could live like a wild man out in the middle of the woods and probably tank that, but I don't really want to. I wonder if there's a morale debuff in this game for not eating on a kitchen table like there is in RimWorld. You don't think you could tank that? I think you could. I think you should have faith in yourself that if things truly went to pot, the human mind can truly adapt to many, many things that they don't think that they could if they're forced to. Now, you would be miserable. You would be absolutely miserable, but I believe you could do it and be miserable about it. Same thing like if I was forced to do that, I would not be happy about that. It's probably why you never see like any jovial, happy people that live as like deranged hermits out in the woods. Always kind of ornery about everything. I do kind of wonder what's causing some parts of the outer hull to have like the red and some parts of it to have the steel color. It looks like it's sort of. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, it seems like it's randomized. No, maybe not. Hmm. I don't mind the look, but I'm curious as to why it's like that. The food thing, minor inconvenience, forest dude, no shot. Look, there's lots of wild forageable foods in the wilderness of North America. I think you could probably eat pretty well doing that. Mind you, the other problems would all be problems still, but you know, just have to learn to live like your ancient ancestors probably didn't actually do because they probably would have, you know, actually died off or whatever pretty quickly. But you know, other than that, you know, it's fine. Wonder how much of this has actually been mined up. Mentally not so sure. Well, that's why you have to become a deranged wilderness mountain man. You know, like you're not supposed to mentally tank it. You're supposed to have your mind completely go berserk bonkers so that you can fit in with the other wild animals. You know, it's a part of the natural selection of being out there. You know, staying sane is not the point of this exercise. I think we're just gonna have a wall chunk with a heater that's attached to it, stuck like in the middle there, because they're not gonna remove it because it's got a heater on it, which works for me. I don't particularly mind that, but at that point, I might as well have a floor heater, so I probably am gonna move that eventually. You're failing that natural selection check. You're not gonna go insane fast enough. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say I believe in you because that would be a bad thing to actually to believe in you in, but you know, you believe that you would have your mental fortitude stay strong long enough to maintain your sanity and be miserable about the situation basically permanently. That's probably, you know, a mixed blessing and a curse sort of thing. Depression would outpace the insanity for sure. Um, it's hard to say. You can survive depression though, like mentally speaking, like you've got that and you're not doing very well, but you know, it doesn't have to outpace the depression. It just has to make sure that eventually it overtakes it. You know, the depression can win in the short term so long as the insanity wins out in the long term. You know, this is not medical advice. As a quick disclaimer, it's kind of interesting that I've had this mission to turn ice into purified water for forever. I've told them to go mine the ice, and they just haven't gotten around to it. It looks like. Why is my storage still full? Oh, you start off way over capacity. Okay, I was wondering what the hell's going on with that. Okay, never mind. We probably aren't even getting any ice into this place. Well, hopefully we'll use up enough of these hull blocks that we'll be able to get this done here. How many have I got still? We've got 18 left. I know that each of these is not actually one hull block. You actually produce several of these for one hull block, but I don't actually know the ratios. Also, I sure hope that derelict that we're about to get to is full of bugs and not random assholes. That would be really awkward if they had guns. Actually, maybe it's better for me to have a pillar here, because, like, I should be able to use that pillar to produce a couple interesting things here. So where is its furniture? Wall lights. Okay, well, that's kind of odd. I feel like you should be... Okay, well, that's even weirder. Is it because it's getting blocked by this bed? It's probably because it's going to block the bed there. All right, so we can have a light on that side of this thing. And then once we move these beds around somewhere, we can sort of get that all dealt with. Yeah, so that works out actually kind of okay. Yeah, just I need to do like a pivot towards like comedic survival streams or something like that, where they're making fun of the people who are trying to like do hardcore survivalist stuff. Because I do think that like a lot of those channels where they're talking about like here's how you survive the apocalypse or whatever, would actually get you killed, but they're relying on the fact that the apocalypse has happened, so nothing bad will happen to them as a result of their negligence. It's like, what are you gonna do? The apocalypse has happened. You can't get to them for whatever crimes they've committed. Basically, 100% like guaranteed that they get away with their crimes. It's like the safest crime you could possibly commit. And honestly speaking, they don't know how to survive an apocalypse. Like, the apocalypse happened, they'd probably also be dead. So, you know, extra points for them not having to actually be able to survive it. Huh. Yeah, no, I think it's completely random what color large sections of this block are. I think it just sort of like codes it where it's like a large stretch is going to be red. Also depends entirely on the type of apocalypse. That's true. That's definitely true. Okay, I'm gonna have to go for another storage unit, I feel like. So let's just get a small storage, and we're gonna put it over here. No, wait, where is... Okay, so we're gonna put it over here. Or how much... I feel like the large storage actually might not be worse in terms of overall capacity there, but looks like we're just gonna do this. We might have to do 2 small storages here. And then we'll do another light over here, maybe. I think it's this button. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I guess the funniest of the Doomsday Preppers are the ones that are focused around like surviving a nuclear apocalypse, because they're often ones that would definitely not make it. Um, bring here. We want to bring ice here as well. And we want to also bring our fuel rods here. So we've got our water, our clean drinking water, and our fuel rods in here. That's fantastic. That's a great combination. Definitely think that there could be no possible repercussions for doing that. I'm not sure what else would go back here, but I think that'll be for now. I probably should get another storage over here and have it hold all our food. Maybe we do that now. Wait, where the hell did I put our kitchen? That's the bathroom. Where's the kitchen? It was over here. I guess we actually also bring our food over here. I like how they're only capable of bringing these in one at a time. That's awful. Alright, how much does this thing actually hold? It's got a total level of what? Capacity of 50, whereas this is actually like substantially more, 250 I think, so it's like 5 of these things. That's probably fine. We'll get more like distribution hubs sort of like later as we go along here. Are we mass stabilized though? I think the yellow bars are full mass stabilization. No, that's our power. Hull stability is 221 out of 1,386, but it says that we can get more by getting our hyperdrives. We'll have to see how this goes. I do kind of want to get the wall segments so I can get this bathroom like segregated, but not too sure if that actually requires blocks. Let's find out. Requires tools. What do I actually need to produce tools? I know they come from the tool facility, but like, what do we actually use to produce those? They come from Infrablocks? We have quite a few of those, so I don't think we're like too screwed on tools. I don't know if we recover tools though if we actually build walls though. So we could probably build like 2 bathrooms. Like we could have one here and then like one door for them here and then one for over here, and then just have them so that you're like staring each other straight in the eye as you sort of like go in them. So we could go like, what is this? Life support, furniture. I forgot what it was. Facility. Yeah, so we could just have this other one like right over here so that you're like staring each other dead in the eye while you're going. I don't know how tall these are, but they certainly don't look as tall as the walls do. I'm pretty sure, yeah, you could like see the other person while you're going, so you could just like, you know, wave at each other or something like that. It'd be nice if you could like raise these a little bit so that they could create like a nicely partitioned thing without me having to build a wall in between them. But you know, I guess that's that for now. This is actually going to probably fill up with more stuff than I've actually got room for. That's probably fine. How are we doing for storage on this thing now? Yeah, it's down to 206 out of 250, so we're fine with that finally. Okay, so let's just rapid this until we get this objective done. Is this not light? Why is it still so dark over here? Maybe we need to find like some sort of upgraded light for them to not suck. Okay, so At a certain point, what we're going to want to do is like move the beds to like over here, have like a little room and then a wall, and then sort of like get that all the way across here, and have that sort of like be the little cubby where they all like have their actual rooms. But for now, this is kind of fine. Yeah, the other additional thing in terms of like also moving furniture is like not only do I have to move a bunch of furniture, I have to sign a lot of paperwork. I expected paperwork. I did not expect there to be as much paperwork as there is. Is this set to turned on? Wait, what do I do with ice? Oh. Well, shit. Oh, for like the property. I don't think you have to do much paperwork for moving furniture. Oh, let's see here. Okay, so recycler. Um, I mean, maybe I'll end up having to do a lot of paperwork for the furniture. I have no idea. Maybe I will. We'll find out. Where the hell do I put this? I'm gonna put that there for now. We'll probably move it. Well, clearly, like, instead of having, like, conventional movers, I don't want to take apart my furniture, I've actually just signed a deal with the devil so that they'll just teleport my stuff into the new place, you know. So, a lot of signatures, a lot of blood. Surprising amount of blood, you know. I forget what the recycler actually does. Transforms scrap materials into a variety of usable resources. Releases heat and is noisy. Closed with walls and a spacesuit door to ensure a safe working environment. Well, that's certainly not happened here. Not today. Alright, let's get another... It's already the Devil's Domain. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. Just, you know, hire the devilish moving company. Offer them your firstborn, you know. Might as well. No reason not to. Okay, build a medical cabinet. I get the feeling like the medical cabinet is probably going to do, like, jack dick all here. Witcher stuff. Yeah, I mean, why not? What's the worst that could happen, really? I think the medical cabinet we'll put down over here. I want it to be kind of near the door. We'll put it there. That way people in an emergency where they've been shot by bugs or whatever can get access to the medical cabinet really quickly. Yeah, I mean, you'd think that if I was going to get, like, the literal devil to just teleport all my stuff to my new place, I wouldn't bother bringing the boxes of, like, lighter things, but, you know, it does shave off of, like, not having to, you know, also give your second-born, you know? It's kind of convenient that way to not go for that deal. Drives a hard bargain. It's what he's known for. Okay, current objective, equip your crew members. So this is the part of this where, like, I'm supposed to go and murder a bunch of random people for relatively no good reason. Other than I want their stuff, so, you know. Okay, so I think this... Okay, where is the draft button? Lower left part of the user interface. I don't see shit over there. I think I have to click on them, though. Oh yeah, select character first. Manual control. Close to storage facility, you can move the character with the right mouse, click on an empty floor pile, use the right mouse to click on send to a storage facility. This will open up the interaction icons. Click the pick up interaction icon, arm your crew member. Okay, I want to figure out who actually is good with guns here. And it's like accuracy is the stat. So you're a 57. 51. 51, 42. So Holly, you're going to be the one who's got the shotgun. How's everybody feeling? Everyone looks pretty okay here. Okay. Let's set it down to slower speed again. Okay, so you are 51%, so you're just getting a pistol. Oh. Okay, well, you're the 57%, so let's get you. You're getting this. Nope, that's... Require weapons 3. Well, shit. Can we not attach that to that? That sucks. Okay. And there's a combat stim here. Let's see if anyone can use the shotgun. They shouldn't be able to because they've got like that other consideration there, but like the person with the highest percentage should be the one who has the ability to use the shotgun, but okay, so you as well. Oh, you can actually use the shotgun. That's bizarre. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Crew members can board a shuttle with a right mouse click on the center of a shuttle. This will open up an interaction. Choose enter craft. The action will auto draft shuttle as well. While the shuttle is drafted with crew members inside, you can move manually with the right mouse button. With shuttle selected, use the dock button at the lower left to select a docking position next to a derelict ship. The shuttle will automatically guide itself to the desired location. Once the shuttle is docked, drafted crew can be or to exit the shuttle from the lower left window. If your crew names are not listed in the shuttle information window, you might have accidentally left them behind. While shuttle is drafted, you can also pick up the... okay. So we pick all of them, and we tell them to go into here. Spacesuits on. And then enter craft. There's a little oxygen icon of how much is in this thing. Alright, so we got a potential problem here. We'll find out if we are equipped for this, because if it's people with guns, this is going to potentially suck. Why are you freaking out? What's going on here? High accident rate. That's fine. Just means he's going to pee his pants. It's fine. Yeah, no, I'll talk to you later. Yeah, no, I'll probably not have good luck with the devil. That's usually not how that goes, but, you know. Exit craft, exit craft, exit craft, exit craft. Are we blocked? Oh no, we can go through that. Okay. Okay, let's try and open this here. The thing is, I have to sort of figure out, like, who are my enemies on board this thing. Because if it's the bugs, this should be relatively easy. If it's not the bugs, then we're in trouble, potentially. Also, we have to worry probably about friendly fire the way I'm moving here. Yeah, no, that's, Okay, get you back here. No, it looks like we can actually be here safely. Okay, so we can actually kill these bugs through, like, this area. Because the bugs cannot get across this gap. And thus, it is safe for us to, like, just blast away. Turning them into space chicken. Okay, I'm gonna get the three of you guys to head across to here. Our first data log. Some credits, okay. There might be a little bug right over here, which I'm not super thrilled if there is. I think this is actually on this side. Nothing found. That's interesting. I didn't think that was a thing that could happen. All right. Everybody, back to the shuttle. Build 2 hyperdrives and 1 navigation console. Okay, we'll do that later. Oh god, enter craft. I'm glad it was bugs and not people. Like, people would be so much harder for this. Or can I just... Okay. Got some hyperfuel there. Let's just spring everything across. Just going to draft them again. Let's just send them home manually here. Have they automatically undrafted themselves? Looks like they did. That's interesting. Alright, so we should start tearing apart, like, this place down here, which is good. We'll strip it for parts, and then we'll have that all work out for us. Okay, 2 Hyperium hyperdrives. It doesn't matter that, like, everything's really offset in a stupid way. That's kind of just how this game works. It's fine. I'm actually going to go ahead and edit, and then I'm going to go ahead and expand out this way a little bit more. I'm going to go like this, maybe. It's going to take forever to get that finished, but whatever. Needs matching console. Yeah, that's fine. I wonder why you need a different turret for asteroids as compared to like point defense turret against like other things. You'd think if it would work against one set of things, you could like shoot down like missiles as well. Maybe because asteroids are bigger and slower, so you need like a bigger, more powerful projectile, but it's not like fast enough at tracking like smaller targets. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. All right. One of the other things is we did get a bunch more hull blocks, or we should have access to a bunch more hull blocks. Oh, we got these now. The end didn't happen with a bang or a fanfare or even a nuclear fireball. It just crept up on us. Beyond the 21st century, humanity made great strides in that century, but so much damage had already been done. So much of it was invisible too when the insect population collapsed. Food crops and biodiversity both suffered. Without those, the ecosystem all over the globe suffered. By the time we curtailed our CO2 emissions, there were too few trees to sequester the excess. Cool. The result was hotter summers and deeper freezing winters. Species went extinct by the thousands every day, and as we sculled over the cause and solutions, we pulled ourselves apart. Old allies became bitter rivals. Nations came apart at the seams. The great edifices that supported the internet, global trade, just-in-time delivery, and all the other things that humanity depended on to live, they all fell apart. Starvation, disease, and war made the 22nd century even bloodier than the 20th. Humanity was always good at adapting, though. When the sun baked the land, we invented thermal regulator. When the crops failed, we invented grow pods. Got better at recycling and finding new energy sources, but we were always at a step behind where we needed to be. Folks used to joke with big tech firms and their slogans. Yesterday's solution, tomorrow. It's not that we destroyed the world, but we certainly made it impossible to sustain human civilization as it was. Too many places lapsed into feudal tyranny or mismanaged themselves into famine, or just plain became unlivable as the climate shifted. Through it all, we never gave up on space exploration. There were complaints, of course. That was waste of increasingly valuable resources. All the money and effort could go towards actually solving the problem. Now it seems maybe space was the only solid investment we ever made. Andreas 9DW. An observation on the human canine symbiosis. Why we have pet dogs. Okay. Relationship with the creators extends beyond. Oh, there. I wonder if this is actually supposed to be true within the context of the game here. Okay. Fair enough, I suppose. I'm seriously considering getting these guys as like bedroom type things set up here. Let's just move this down to like that, and then we'll start working on this. What are these different doors? Is it just aesthetic difference? I think it's just aesthetics. Okay. I kind of like this one a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to put the wall, I think, here. We're going to give people a bit of space, so we'll put one there. I'm just going to go ahead and... What? Okay, so we'll do here. Let's see if we can get this to work. We'll find out. This might actually be fine. Well, they're just sleeping in their beds before they get a chance to move them. That's fine, though. Hmm. Accident? I wonder what that actually means. Context of this game here. Okay, let's slow things down a little bit. Let's get furniture, wall lights. Yeah, that's the right way. I actually want to get rid of this stuff or move it at the very least. Move that to there. Got this other wall light over here. How do I actually click on that? Can I actually rotate the camera in this game? This could be a bit of a problem, in all honesty. Running out of hull blocks. We still have 4 of them, and we're not planning on doing any more hull building, so that's fine. And we don't need hull blocks to build walls, so that's also fine. Here we go. I'm going to move this over to like here for the time being, and then we'll sort of move that again later. And then we'll be able to get this all done here in a bit. Looks like they're finishing stripping the last bits of this place up. It doesn't necessarily automatically turn anything here into like actual usable blocks, so well, they're having a bit of an argument, looks like. Although it looks like they managed to have a think about it, resolve their differences to a certain extent. Okay. So that's all done. Let's go ahead and do... it's 3 sets of wall, and then a door. Don't actually care too much where this is actually located on the inside of these places. So I'm kind of okay with it being wherever. Probably have to wait for that to actually finish being an existing wall. Alright. Okay, we're just gonna have that dumb hallway. We'll expand out in another direction afterwards. But for now, this is fine. How are we doing on infrared blocks? Doing okay. You get quite a lot of tools for each of those, so like I probably do have to worry about running out of them, but like not right yet. Okay. Yeah, move you to here. I don't know if I've got these actually consistent in each of these bedrooms, but like should be kind of close. Just gonna go ahead and get a table here. Okay, so everyone has their own little sort of private room now. They should be a little bit happier with that, I think. I'm also going to go ahead and get more wall thermoregulators because we got actually quite a stretch before we got any. And then we're going to go ahead and do our system stuff here. How come this isn't getting repaired, I wonder? Alright, so I do feel like everyone should be a little bit happier now. Running out of steel plates. Okay. In fact, we were completely out of steel plates. Let's get to our recycler here. Okay, we'll have that happen. And that should fix the problems that we've got here. Enable communications and point defense systems. Operations console, point defense turrets. Does it matter what kind of point defense turret? I think it's supposed to be this kind. We want all these sort of operations, I feel like, kind of clustered together. Okay, and then we need another power node. Research lab, research workbench. Not sure where I want this stuff to be. Kind of feel like up around here is fine. Okay, so we might as well research basic botany. I feel like that's actually sensible. Can't tell if that's actually being researched or not. Execute a hyperspace jump. Open up Systems menu located at the upper left part of the user interface and give the command to prepare for a hyperspace jump. Wait until crew is charged with hyperdrives and then press the jump button. The Systems menu will show you how much mass your hyperdrives can safely handle and the current mass of your ship. Hull stability is only at 1,201 out of 1,316. And we're at 99.6% on power. We might have to build another hyperdrive. Looks like it's supposed to be kind of fine here from what we got, but I probably am going to have to build another one of these pretty soon. By the way, let's check our system map, see what sort of places we can get to. Just gonna double check all the resources in the area here. This place is definitely empty. Yep. That's done, that's done. What? Well, that's different. Didn't know that was a thing that could happen. Alright, so a little bit of free hyperfuel. Yeah, let's, I guess, get ready for a jump. Alright, people have finally gotten onto that. Oh, or they've decided to sleep. Let's just go ahead and jump. Good to see a friendly face out here. I'm Sheridan, captain of the HSS Box Leitner, and commander of the Haven Foundation's expedition fleet. Folks just starting out, we are too. We're loaded with thousands of refugees from Earth and hypersleep, and our job is to find somewhere out there in space they can make a fresh start. And it can be easy as far as anyone can tell. Human habitable planets are rarer than a hen's teeth. Folks are interested. The fleet needs pathfinders. That's a ship who can scour Havas and find a way forward. If you'd rather strike out on your own, that's fine, but it pays good, and you'd be doing something to give thousands of people a hope for the future. Sure. Okay, why not? So the way of being a Pathfinder normally works is we'd outfit you with a hyperspace beacon, lets the Exodus fleet come right to you. Kind of expensive to build, though, and it happens that one of our Pathfinders recently quit and their ship got wrecked. You may as well just salvage their beacon and use that. So your first official assignment is to track down the quitter. Last I heard, they were called into a battle at the Leisure Station not far from where you are right now, and get them to tell where they left that ship and its beacon. And then all you have to do is recover the beacon and you'll be all set up. Talk to Saul Kane of the CB Snowhead Hope, Asteroid Field 4, current star system. Choose reward was this. Prestige, resources, technology, high career, simple. Okay, let's, yeah, okay. Wait, what? Might as well be as close as possible to this. Okay, seek out the star system cluster hyperlane. A group of star systems are known as a star system cluster. You can see the map systems cluster by zooming out the highest level in the star map and travel between them via hyperlanes. Travel between the star systems in this cluster by jumping to hyperspace from the systems menu. Each system contains valuable resources to help you survive and expand your ship. Mine them, gather them from derelicts, or trade them from other ships. When you're ready, seek out the cluster's hyperlane and use it to travel to the next cluster. You can take your time with the objective. There's no need to rush. This has not been true from like the previous iterations of this game, but they might have fixed this. One of the problems is that you run out of things like fuel really, really quickly in this game, and run out of your ability to actually function really, really fast in a way that's actually kind of shit. So the thing should be in this system. Let's let our dudes get them their sleep. Let's just check. I want to see if this is started here. I can't tell if this is actually being researched. Oh, this has already been researched, I think. What does this actually do? Hamster flybot? Chimp walker pod, hypersleep chambers, medical beds. One of the things that I actually kind of remember is that one of the really important things in this is that you have to get power from like stuff that doesn't require normal stuff. So we're going to try and get to these solar panels actually. So we'll get the power capacity node and then the solar panel like kind of right away. Let's also actually start working on some food sources here. I think that actually this might be a good thing just to have down the hallways here. I think that's kind of fine, actually. I don't know how many of these we would realistically need at any given time to feed a specific number of people, but this is probably enough. I don't have enough resources for that, that's fine. Alright, so we'll clearly have to suit up and get over to that derelict station pretty soon here. Gonna go just like 2 of each of these things here. Except for nuts, so I guess we'll only need 1 of those. Oh, I need skill 5 in botany. What do I have? Got skill 4. That's actually pretty good. Skill 4. Skill 1. Okay, we're stuck at 4, so I don't think I can get nuts. Okay, so we'll do 3 vegetables and we'll do 1 of nut. 2 of vegetable. Sorry, 2 of fruit. I can't speak. Okay, everyone just sort of woke up early on in the day. We should be able to grab everybody and head on over to that derelict and then strip it. Let them take their time and like relax and feel good about themselves and stuff like that first. Okay, looks like everyone's done. All right. Draft. They already got guns? Looks like they've already got their guns. Okay. Enter craft. I'm going to go ahead and save real quick, though. What did I name this place? Did I forget to name it? I think I forgot to name it. Shit. What is this actually attached to? Alright, time for some exploration here. Oh, shit. Okay, we did manage to take that thing out. No problem. Don't think we took any damage. You kind of want to lure the ranged guys into a close-range kill box. I think he's headed over here. Okay, we're still doing fine. I think. Oh shit. Damn it. Okay, so now enter the kill box. We got dinged there, but I don't think it did any damage. Oh, this is going to be confusing. We found an Emmeline. Or an Emily to go with our Emmeline. Where am I? I feel like I've been hypersleep forever. I don't want to stay here. Can I join you on your journey? Yeah, sure. Thank you, I'll do my best. Welcome to the crew. Okay, so we got a new person. That's great. Don't know if they've got a gun or anything. Nothing found. Station is actually pretty big. But we should be able to just, like, freely roam around it right now. I think, like, those drones, typically speaking, try to, like, rush you down. Damn it. Nothing found again. It's going to be confusing, though. We have got an Emmeline and we have an Emily, so that's something we have to think about, but yeah, it's fine. Oh, this is walkable. Interesting. Okay. That isn't, but, like... We found a flamethrower. Continue drafting just a little bit here. I just want to go and do this. Oh, why is that on the ground? Oh, that's ground. Pocket. Okay. Craft. Can I actually fit 5 people in here? Nope. Okay, so Mike's staying behind for a little bit. One problem is we have actually got people joining us a bit faster than I thought we were going to have them, which is both good and bad. Okay, and then we send you over to here. And then we take this thing and we're going to go ahead and just salvage the ever-loving hell out of the whole thing. Transfer everything. All right, Emily, what are you about here? Well, she's probably in one of those pods right now, so I guess that's fine. All right, everyone's made it back. I do have to make a new bedroom, which is going to be a bit awkward. Okay, that's going to have to go there for now. We'll fix that up later. Oh, they're going on expeditions to pick up this stuff. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. The main concern I'm probably going to end up having is I don't know how quickly or easily I can get fuel rods. But call me crazy. Entry 1. Second star to the right. This HSS call me crazy. Oh. Okay. Too optimistic. Really bloody bad. Lens basically underwater nowadays. Okay. It's probably an English fella. Okay, so they're just getting out and heading to new places here. To distant horizons and brighter futures, I guess. Okay, let's do storage. Let's get another small storage over here. What? Oh, small storage asteroid. Why would that even be a thing? Insufficient resources still. Okay. I like how people just sort of like take whatever bed they want. There's not like a specific, this is my bed or whatever. I kind of would prefer it if they did specifically have like a specific bed for a person. I can't believe I'm out of info blocks. So that's what I'm actually out of. I thought we had plenty. Still have more scrap to salvage, and we've got lots of infra scrap, so it's going to have to be hopefully something we've got enough of. Yeah, got lots of little things on the go right now. It's actually going pretty okay. Game plus construct on our guys. That's also good. I kind of feel like they minorly changed how damage works in this game, because like it used to be that you'd take a little nick from like one shot from one of those little drone things, and it would like instantly incapacitate your person. They'd have to be like on a medical bed. They'd be bleeding out and stuff like that. Now we sort of like get nicked by something, and it doesn't seem to actually like instantly screw you over. Like you got some leeway on that. Oh, that was a lot of stuff we brought back. All right, well, I hope we get to processing. Because getting those things done is going to actually be pretty useful for us. All right, looks like people are going to go to sleep before we get around to that, though. Looks like we're okay on temp most places. I'm going to turn down our wall view so it's easier to see into places. Yeah, it looks like those plants are actually growing really nicely. I think we're doing good there. What does this thing do again? This is the hull stabilizer. Why does it need steel plates? Does it repair work? Hmm. Do I make steel plates out of this thing? Rubble produces steel plates. You need a lot of rubble to get one steel plate, though. For all these boxes that we got here, I feel like that's probably hull scrap. I should probably be doing if orders here. Okay, rubble if. Okay. Got lots of days worth of power. How's our research going? It's going okay. Okay, so this one we want to have this stuff coming out of the recycler, probably. I should actually put our scrap into there. And then the actual, like, stuff that gets used can go to, like, wherever it's sort of going, but, like, the end product basically can go anywhere. But we'll put all the scrap into here. Should probably get ready for another jump, though. There's not really a great point to, like, sticking around here while we're here. The ACS Nomad has shown up. Asteroid Collective. Operations. I guess they still want their coffee before they head on to that. Okay. Now talking to Android Collective. I wouldn't mind giving them a small gift. No missions available. Okay, fine. Yeah, I don't mind trying to get on their good side a little bit here. But let's try and jump out of this place. So over here, what is this? Unknown Military Alliance. Over here, there's a derelict, so there's more to going this way than there is this way, and I don't know how navigation for this functionally works, really. Yeah. That's probably all I'm going to do there. Should probably try to find some entertainment before everyone starts going nutsos here. We could also do decorative objects. That might help a little bit. Something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna really need to do another engine in a little bit here. It won't take very long before I need another one. Yeah, our amount of weight in the ship keeps going up and down and fluctuating. Like, that shouldn't be happening. Got 13 units of fuel. Listed as risky. And again, we mostly want to be by the derelict here, so this is a friendly station, so I don't mind being close to it as well, though. You know, apparently we're very friendly with these guys. Let's get those operations online here. I think we're still producing a lot of stuff from our scrap, so we're not, like, idling. New mission at the Yggdrasil. Okay, so we could get a reward here. We could get energy cells and Hyperium, or we could get base metals and raw chemicals, or we could get 400 bucks. I'd have 5 hours to do this. Wait. Time to accept is 5 hours. Okay. Do we have a time limit on how long we've got before time to complete objective step 11 hours? Okay, that's fairly easy to collect this, but then this part is hard. Because that's in a completely different solar system. That looks like it would be sort of on the closer end of the jump, though. And I do think that the energy cells and Hyperium would be good, so we'll try this. Wait, what's a cargo port? Yeah, what counts as a cargo port? Could I, like, draft and send it over to here? I'm gonna save real quick. Okay. So let's try this. Drafts. We also want to strip this down fairly quickly, so that's another thing we have to think about. What counts as a cargo port? Ooh, look over there. Asteroid Field 3. Okay, so I might have to putz around until I can figure out this. I might actually call it here for today while I do that. Does a cargo port... Oh, shit. Okay, we found it. Okay, this might end up looking extremely derpy. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go back on this, but we're going to call this a day for now. But yeah, I'll be playing this again on Wednesday. I might just have to, like, bugger off somewhere, though, at a certain time, because I might have other things that I have to do. So in any event, though, yeah, I'll figure that out. I'll try to do this sort of mission objective or whatever it is, and then we'll, yeah, be good to go from there. So hopefully that works out okay. But in any event, hope you found this one enjoyable. And of course, as always, hope to see you guys all next time.